What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Shout out to Black Ram 313. I'll probably be on his platform later on today, so I will be posting a a link to his channel. Make sure you subscribe because he has a very deep archive you can go through. He's like one of the pillars of Igmore. We got BGS, you got Black Ram, and you got Thinking Man Templar. There's others, so don't take this the wrong way, but those are the ones that I typically listen to, and they all bring that fire in their own way and in the similar ways as well. So pretty much, and then shout out to King Sigma, who's going to be doing a follow-up reviewing the 1.7 thousand comments on that video he did that went viral, the 200,000 views he got. Shout out to him. I'm very happy for him. It's really good because it's showing that the content that we make and the way we make it can go viral, and I'm very happy that happened, because a lot of times people think that the way we make content is not really the way you need to make it in order for it to go viral, because our stuff is too long, our stuff is this, our stuff is that, and it can go viral. So he'll be doing a follow-up video, and I'm probably going to be on that too, because I've emailed him both of them back and forth, and he's going to be doing reviews on the comments and what some of the people that they said, because to be fair, it's about I'm gonna be honest, it's about a 60-40 ratio of black females on some fuck shit and black women that actually saying some shit that's got some goddamn sense. And I want to be fair with that, because I've been monitoring it the whole way through, from just a internet marketing standpoint. I've been responding to some of the comments, and to be fair, it's about a 60-40, where women are basically kind of disgusted that it happened, and they're not necessarily trying to hint it's black men's fault or anything like that. And women are really like, wow, but and then you got women that are just doing the typical shit that they do. Fair. It's about a 7 to say fuck shit, and then black men, varying degrees of fuck black women, you can't trust black women, blah blah blah. Which, to be fair, when it comes to DJ Pope, most of those women were like, nah, I wouldn't even qualify as like 85s. They were like, if there's such a thing as like 83s, or let's call it what you use to power a leaf blower, gasoline, that shit, that's what a lot of them were. And when you understand, it ain't really a lot to do but fuck in South Carolina, and you got motherfuckers where it don't take a lot to really show them shit, and then on top of the slavish mindset that they have, because let's keep it real. I remember when Tariq Nasheed, and I'm kind of annoyed by this, that Tariq Nasheed did a fuck. He's never come to Raleigh, but he's been to Charlotte. He's never come to Raleigh, but he'll come to South Carolina, which, whatever. And then he said that, in South Carolina, they can either be real slavish or they can be real on code, is what he would say. And I've seen that to be true. South Carolinians, black people from South Carolina, comes in two parts. They're either like on point a lot more than what people would think, or they're really extra slavish, like the caricature of what people actually think of South Carolina as a whole. And I've seen that. Like people in Columbia, I've seen whole malls owned by nothing but black people in Columbia. I'm talking about actually the stores and shit. So it depends. But with that said, I mean, it is what it is. And that the shit like that, I'm gonna keep it real with you. The shit that happened, that could have happened anywhere, to be honest. That could happen any fucking where in the United States. Because you got that same, because a lot of people try to act like, the West Coast is neoliberal, even though they're the most known for the bullshit as far as interracial dating, to the point where I deemed it genetic gentrification. And then you got the shit in the South that's well known, and then you got the shit in the North that's well known, but they try to color it up through like Hispanics, and try to say it ain't the same. So anyway, I just wanted to give that intro, so be looking out for that. I'll be posting that in the community section. It goes down in the community section of the channel. I'm definitely looking for y'all to comment, because I like to make posts on there, because everybody's not on my Facebook. I don't expect everybody to be on my Facebook. And that allows me to kind of share videos that I may not make, but I think are very warranted to see. So definitely comment on that. Cornelius Bellamy. But you know what? There's a lot of room for opportunity, man, because there's a lot of cheap land that can be developed, and a lot of black people don't think about it that way. You know, I'm an advocate for going overseas, but man, we got whole regions we can develop in the United States that we don't develop because black people don't want to do that. I don't even want to call it running away, but you know, and MOT talks about that a lot, and we need to really start breaking that down a little bit more to let people know that there's actually something to that. But anyway, what this video is really about, what's up, The Truth Light? What's up, Kobe? You know, I didn't realize how many younger people listen to me. I don't know why I always had an idea that people my age were the main ones that listen to me, because some of y'all are younger than even my youngest brother. And that's the thing, that's another thing too. I deal enough with like 23, 24, 22-year-olds in my job that I kind of got a good, you know, these are people that are right on the edge of like the end of the millennial train, and they're really old, in my opinion, older Zillennials, but they're on the edge of the millennial train, and I'm like, wow, man, you know, you know, I don't think it's hope for the black community as a whole, but as far as like sections or like a certain percentage of black people, like I'd say 30%, max 40, I think you can carve a community out of that, and that's still larger than a lot of countries. But anyway, let me get into the video because we're 6 minutes in. So the title, you see the title talks about, you know, you believe the gynocracy exists, now what? Part of this will always be, you got to keep pushing the pavement to kind of letting people know what's going on. I was listening to BGS's video. I haven't listened to all of it. I listened to maybe a quarter of it. And he said this is going to be his last piece on gynocracy, which I get it. I mean, what else can be said? I mean, the evidence is there. The thesis is there. The evidence is there. At this point, it's just a matter of taking the videos and taking the stuff and promoting it. Promoting the videos, promoting the playlist, you know, putting it in such a way that people can't just go to people's channels and shut it down or anything like that, or shut down the information. And pretty much at this point, although promoting things are always important, as an individual, once you know it's a difference between knowing the information and then understanding the information. So once you know the information and you understand the information, well, not even understand it, but you accept the information, because that's where a lot of black men are getting caught up on. They're getting caught up on accepting it because they know something's wrong, but it's something about the black male ego, which, by the way, is a weakness in my opinion, because it allows for women to actually play that shit like a violin. And this is why a lot of niggas are getting caught up on this, saying these pussy arguments, whether they're talking about niggas that are getting pussy, whether they're talking niggas that don't get pussy. It's still this constant circular pussy argument where people try to take pro-blackness or what it means to build a community, whether that's the whole community or sections of it, and then try to merge the fucking into it. They can't get away with that. They can't escape it, because even when it comes to self-improvement, I've said this before, so dudes are self-improving only to chase the badge. And I'm like, dude, you can solve that problem readily, easily, and then create better situations when it comes to that issue. But you can solve the inability to get it actually very easily. But this becomes the most important thing. So you got dudes that are actually driven by this above anything else. And we can't get out of this argument because, quite frankly, dudes are operating within a gynocratic mindset and they don't even understand it. So the biggest issue is really accepting your situation. It's accepting what the situation is as a collective group. And one of the arguments that a lot of dudes like to make, and you know who these people are, they like to make the argument that, well, you only saying that the black community is a gynocracy as a whole because you don't run your own fucking household. That's a surface level bitch made argument, but it's actually a good point if you look at it only at the surface. First of all, everybody wasn't a slave back in slave times. John Baptiste Point du Cible, the founder of Chicago, was half Haitian. He would be considered black, but he was half Haitian. His mother was Haitian, his father was French. He wasn't a slave. That doesn't mean slavery didn't fucking exist. Your individual situation is not predicated on the group. All white people are not rich. That does not mean white people are not looked at as having money. All Asians ain't smart. So the reality is your individual situation is not predicated on the group. And the problem is you got people having a group conversation. They're trying to use individual arguments to override the group. And these are not dumb people. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing because they don't want to have the conversation because they don't have the evidence. These are people that always want to talk about how they think they know the most when in actuality they actually know the least. And so what they try to do is they try to override what they know by either calling people names and basically intimidation tactics, bullying tactics. And you wouldn't need those tactics if you actually had a strong foundation in what was actually going on. So when you actually look at the collective zeitgeist of the black community and really understand why that is the way it is, this is really the only conclusion. Because, and I'm gonna prove it to you. If black women, for the most part, were like this with all men, then it would be a different story. But they're not. And we all know that they're not. And we all know that all men are not better than black men. Because if that was the case, then we would have been done as a people. Because the women would have just been bucking out sexually. But they don't. Because they fuck with you to the extent of their own sexual needs. And and I've always said that's to the extent that they even give you respect, to the extent that you think it is respect. But people don't understand that. They don't understand that. They don't think about that. They don't see that as what it is. That's why black men are so obsessed with actual sexual validation, because black men, that's the only type of respect that they've ever known to be given, which is actually a part of the gynocracy as well. And that's not even the gynocracy's fault. That's actually American society in general. But what you do now, once you understand, and accept what the situation is, what it does for you is it allows you to basically move in this world a lot differently. It really frees you up, because one of the biggest things about black people, black men, is this guilt that black men have, this obligation to prove to black women that you ain't shit. This thing that whether it's you did it or previous generations did it and you believe that previous generations of men failed, you feel like you have this obligation to make up for what they didn't do. And that you have this obligation to turn how black women feel about you around. Like, it's like a fucking life debt. And a lot of dudes can't put their finger on it, and they may not call it that, but they have this feeling. Usually it's through their mama. I gotta save my mama. I gotta save my mama. Because that's why the first thing when the dude gets some money, what does he do? Save his mama. Because that is this obligation that black boys are making up what their dad didn't do, supposedly. Because it's never the black woman's fault, right? The black woman can never be at fault. Now you look at any other group, ethnic group, racial group, that's not true. Women can very much so be held accountable for what the fuck they're doing, up to and including, in a legal sense, excommunicated out of the community. And they're very much so held to account for what they do. Because usually they're the ones that are bucking code more than what dudes are. Because dudes understand there's immediate and kinetic consequences from other men for bucking codes outside of what's the established parameters of what's been agreed to. Women don't really have that. And they're always trying to buck the codes. So you have to use other ways to undermine them but still keep them in the loop. And usually the most effective ways is using other women. Basically using other women to use shame to basically keep women in line. But the point is, this black male guilt is really one of this need for sexual validation and this black male guilt are pretty much the two brother and sister to basically what drives a lot of behaviors and activity of black men and how black men act towards black women. It really does. And when you actually break down a lot of dudes, whether they're talking about what happens to the black woman, what has happened to the black woman, slavery, they always come at angles of black men fail, so black men suffer. These are always the angles that they always come at on the guilt, because they're trying to manipulate you by guilting you to basically saying, I know it's a bad deal. I know it, you know it, but at the end of the day, I can't tell you that. So I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to try to psych you out to why you're obligated to deal this bad deal, because you may not have did shit. And they do this as boys. This is done at a very young age. This is not something that's done like as an adult. You have to program people early. Because if you tell dudes this as an adult, dudes are going to just go and get the best deal as to what they have access to. In America, you have access to a lot. That's what's going to happen. Dudes is going to bounce if they're not programmed this way early. And this is how insidious this is. Because this is not just the black women that are doing this. This is a lot of black men that buy into this. They really do. A lot of old niggas that buy into this bullshit. And the other side of it, so you get free from that guilt. That's the first thing. The second thing is you start to understand that you can get sexual validation. Sexual validation is not race-based. This is why I always say, do not mix being pro-black with getting pussy. Those are two completely different things. Your dating and you being pro-black and contributing community is two different things. But see, everybody wants to say, well, you can't be pro-black unless you only fuck black women, because that means something. At the end of the day, that means something. But these will be the same dudes that will try to manipulate you in telling you. These will be the same dudes that'll flip it and say you're not a man unless that black woman actually knights you. Like, I remember that scene from Avengers Infinity War that Tony Stark knighted Peter Parker. Now, when you really look at how Tony Stark was, he was like, it ain't a big deal. I'm just doing this to kind of be funny but be serious, that it's serious times. And that's how black women see giving a dude pussy. But if you look at how Peter Parker was, because he had the Spider-Man, he had the mask off, he looked like he had just been told he was a god. And then they had the music in the background, like it was just this big thing. And that's how black men act. That's why when black men get mad, they default to not who is the better producer, but who has fucked the most bitches. You even got dudes, a lot of dudes that are stronger producers that will still say, me fuck, do the bitches I'm fucking and how much I'm fucking, that is what matters above everything else. And so when you take black women off the table and you look at black dudes don't create hierarchies amongst each other as an overall group based on who produces more in any given situation, depending on what's being done. If you're talking about getting women, then yes, okay, who fucks the most bitches matters. But really what we're talking about in anything. It could be construction. Who fucks the most bitches? Okay, that's who should decide how the construction goes. This is how fucking stupid black men are. And this is why black men don't have don't do well in actually working together unless it's in sports. Where sports is the only thing we've actually been taught that we should work together with. Which is actually sad, because that actually tells you how deep the programming is. But it is what it is. So at the end of the day, you got dudes that always want to acclimate the argument, not from the community is fucked up because we don't have a social contract and black men and black women do not work together because black women, quite frankly, are on their own shit. It always has to be seen that black women are on their own shit because as a man, you are not a superhero nigga. Because that's essentially what all it look. I don't give a fuck what dating coach. A lot of dating coaches are basically telling black men, you got to be a superhero to deal with black women. And they try to act like, shout out to the dating coaches that are open about saying that black men need to date the best women for them. But for the most part, black men leave it very subjective, or you hate black women. So they always leave it open-ended and never make it clear. Never make it clear that, black men can go and get the best deal that they can get regardless of race. Every market are men, they still won't say that. And you don't even got to say it with black men. You can say any man has a right to any woman, period. And you get the best deal, whether it's white men dating black women, whatever. Even Tariq Nasheed kind of low-key said that shit. And even though I don't like the way Tariq Nasheed goes about teaching and stuff, because I think it has a certain vernacular to it, I got respect for that. And he got a lot of criticism for that. When he said that if you get a mixed chick, you need to get a mixed chick with a black father and a white mother. I remember when he said that years ago. People still hold him accountable for that shit. Even though what he said was absolutely spot the fuck on. And I know why he said it. And he said that years ago. So my point is, so the guilt part is the first part. The sexual validation, once you understand that you don't have to prove yourself to a black woman, because that's really what the sexual validation shit is. It's that you got to prove yourself to a woman like K. Michelle. Seriously. So we have this circular argument about black men not being able to get women when we're essentially talking about black men. This is the thing I've always said about C Boogie. I'm like, C Boogie, on the low, you don't care who black men date. You've kind of said it, but you kind of not. So you keep on talking about self-improvement based on men that it's like, okay, so I've always said that if you're a black man and you can't get no woman, regardless of race or ethnic group, then obviously you need to take a look at the fucking mirror. I wouldn't even say you got to go that far before you take a look at the mirror. But if we're talking about just dating black women, then no, black women are not the be all end all on your manhood, especially when you look at their ability or lack thereof to affect the outcomes they want to affect. And that's just a fact. But when we're talking about dating a relationship, it's always in a pro-black context. So what happens is this gynocratic bullshit gets mixed. Because if black men start basically all going full SYSBM, then really women's negotiating power just loses. Because I could argue you can solve most of black men fucking fat bitches by doing that. Because at that point, if you're a black man or fuck a fat black female, then you're a fucking fat white bitch. A fat Latin bitch. This gonna give you a better deal as to how they fucking act and be more grateful. So even on that front, you can get a much better deal. A woman that'll cook, clean, and act like they got some sense because they're fucking grateful, especially if you in shape. If you somewhat in shape, they're gonna be grateful. Say what you want to about fat black women. Fat black women are not grateful anymore. It used to be a time that fat black women were grateful. They could get a dude that they were sexually attracted to. But when you got, and Jill Scott is not ugly, but you got women like Jill, they don't care because they, so they would do the extra work, and that's what they had to do to compete. This is why I know that when people talk about that darkism shit, that's bullshit. Because I know fat women had to work harder to compete. This is why fat black women are known. They were one of the first ones to start sucking dick. This is why they're known to do that and do it well. That's why because they had to compensate. Now, even though they could lose the fucking weight, hell, you can get money, get surgery, and lose the fucking weight, but no, they still compensated. Which goes to show you that it can be done. So once you release yourself from those two fucking handcuffs, those fucking chains that chain you to the fucking ground, the guilt shit, which leads you into the obligation, and then this need to sexually validate yourself with sisters. My thing, sisters want to fuck you, they want to fuck you. Look, I date sisters, I'm short, and I can get black women, and the black women I fucking want. I don't fuck no bitch I don't want. Obviously, there's degrees to it, but if I don't do that. So yes, but at the same time, if you struggle with that because you're not socially compatible, then you deal with who you deal with. If you care about the genetic piece, which I care about, then you go non-ADOS. Because a lot of y'all that's not compatible with ADOS black women would be compatible with like non-ADOS black women. And you basically do the work you need to do to find the women, and you do the approaches you need to do. Because a lot of black men don't do the approaches. And that's why they fall in love with what a female says, or they get hyper angry when a female denies them because they're not doing the approaches. I look at talking to women like telemarketing. I cast the net. I don't even see you until I've demonstrated you've been qualified that you actually are interested in me, and I call that qualification. It's not about me saying I'm better than her, but she's not qualified for me to spend money on her if I'm not if she's not interested in me. And that's a lot of y'all gotta look at it at qualifying women. Y'all gotta get good with the English language. When you're telemarketing somebody, when you're contacting somebody, you're not contacting them for them to validate you as far as buying your product. You're contacting you to see if they're interested and if there's somebody that's even in the market for what you want. It's kind of like being in real estate. You can want a house, but if you don't have good credit, you're not qualified to buy one. You see what I'm saying? You know, and you have to go through those people, and that's what it is to be a man, because you have to take those hits. See, women can't do that. Men can play the numbers in volume and play them in our favor. Women can't do that because their emotions don't really allow them to take those hits over and over and over again. Now, for the women that can do that, then they have a great advantage. And I know women that can do that. This is why women are so obsessed with their looks. You'll never see a woman actually go out there looking like shit or not looking like $1 million or maximizing what they look like when they're doing sales. Why? Because they don't want that rejection and they want to minimize that, and they know their looks can. Men don't really have that luxury to that extent. We got to take that hit hard to the pavement, but we can. But too many black men and too many men in general, because here's the thing, when it comes to the white boys, the difference between black men and the white boys is the white boys have an entitlement. The white boys operate a lot like black women, where they have an entitlement thing. This is why incels are usually associated with white boys, because look, let's keep it real with you, there would be no incels if white dudes as a whole was willing to fuck black women than that. Whatever the incel population is amongst white America, it will be cut down by, I'd say, 85%. Because white boys, for the most part, I'm not saying they can get the best of black women, but they can get black women at will. If it's just if white boys had the sexual sensibilities as your average black male, then they would never be without pussy, no matter what their accomplishments were, because they're white in this society. We all know that. Even dudes that get pussy know that's true. They know that comment is true. They can disagree with everything else I said, and they know pound for pound a white guy, and I don't give a fuck. I understand that all black women are not attracted to white guys, but a lot of black women that say that, they know they can't get the white guys they would be attracted to. And this idea that white women are attracted to black men, but black women are somehow so race loyal, that's bullshit. We all know that's not true. So we need to stop having that argument. Just like how there's black men that are really not attracted to white women, despite every black woman thinks, or every black man. Shout out to BGS because he's one of them. He said it, you know. And for me, I like Mediterranean women if they're gonna be white. I need a little bit of ethnic in my white woman. I don't like clean, you know, Becky, you know, stick figure. That's not me. It's never been me. So my point is, it goes in reverse too. So at the end of the day, the main point of this video is those are the two pillars. Those are the two chains that you get broken when you understand and accept this to be true. The chain of, I'm not obligated to save the community because I'm trying to save my mama. Hell, I'm not saying to not save your mama. But what I'm saying is, don't view the community through the eyes of your fucking mama. Your mama is one fucking person. So don't look at these other sisters through the eyes of your mama. Do not do that. And I'm gonna tell you, my mom, uniquely, she don't like black women like that. She don't get along with women. She's one of them. And I'm not gonna say she ain't got no black female friends, but she don't get along with women like that. She didn't want daughters. So I have a unique perspective that was reinforced. My mom was not perfect, by no means, especially when it comes to me, but a lot of this gynocratic shit I didn't deal with for the simple fact that my mom didn't even like women like that. My mom was one of these women that, you know, they can't stand other women. And I know a lot of black women are like that. But she's one of the few that won't code up under female bullshit either. So my perspective is very unique in this. This is not me rebelling against everything. I've had this shit reinforced at a young age. And I know the difference. All the women in my family are not like that. I got matriarchal women in my family too. So those are the two chains, the guilt shit and the sexual validation shit. That's the push and pull. The coin, two sides of the same coin. You break those chains psychologically, and y'all may not think that's how y'all feel, but dude, if y'all somebody you haven't been validated by women and you only date black women, the first thing you need to do is stop that shit. Because if you haven't had that validation, then you're gonna sit here and overcompensate with black women, and that's gonna give them that's putting them on the pedestal. And I'm talking about women that don't even need a goddamn they don't need the ground to sit on, and you put them on a pedestal. That's real fucking talk. And these are the things that don't get addressed. Like most of these these dating coaches are not addressing unique black male psychologies and issues. They're trying to talk universally and then apply it to black men. And by the way, shout out to Jason Black. Like, I didn't agree with I agree with maybe 60% of the shit he said in that video, but it is in the community post. It's a 3.5-hour video talking about what it is to be alpha. So it's something that's definitely a good work to kind of piggyback off of. Kind of like say, okay, this is very clear and clearly defined. Whether you agree with it or not agree with it, it's something that you can really anchor yourself around and say, okay, I agree with this, I don't, and this is why. Because one of the things that Jason Black says is one of the things that he said that I don't agree with is he said that black women are doubling up because they want a complete man. And I'm like, you're speaking to something that doesn't really exist like that. Because if you're saying that the reason why 20% of black men are having the sexual shit that they're having is because they're complete men, then why don't you tell me why the main complaints about the men that these women are choosing, because that's who they're complaining about when they talk about black men, has to do with not being a complete man. They both can't be true. And when you look at the outcomes that black women have, not just in the black community, but when they hop outside, it's as a group. We're not talking about exceptions to the rule, but as a group. You know, Alfre Woodard and her relationship with her white husband is an exception to the rule. Eve is an exception to the fucking rule. And everybody knows that shit. So let's stop playing. But my point is, you see the same habits. You see a lot of the same guys getting chose. So we know that's not true. That is an idealized situation because we don't want to. And the funny thing is, Jason Black will talk about gynocentrism every once in a while. He uses the term. So he knows what it is. But the thing is, he still wants to operate within this one group. And he'll call it intelligent black society. I'll call it the 40%. But at the end of the day, even amongst dudes that are high performers, you still got women making complaints. These women, most black women, are not content with their situation. They are complaining about the very men that they choose, which tells you it's not that. It's not that these guys are quote unquote complete. Like if you look at the top 20% of dudes that are getting what quote unquote the pussy, if the women were actually complete about that and they're not just getting their fucking rock off and their needs met on that situation to the extent that they are. Hell, you got a lot of homosexuals that can operate within the top 20% of dudes sexually. And when I say that, I'm talking about according to what these women want. This is why you got K. Michelle talk about what a man needs to do to bow down to her. Because when she comes across a quote-unquote complete man, she doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. Now, Jason would say K. Michelle's just a loser-ass bitch. But and I get it. He's basically trying to do what I just said in this video, which is trying to motivate black men as a whole to just step their game up. But the problem with that is people want people to step their game up, but don't want them to get a better option. If black women are not going to submit to a dude that'll step their game up, your options are really to hop, or your option are either go 980s, which is not perfect, or hop the fence, which is not perfect. Or your third option is to accept the situation for what it is. And now men are not doing that. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. You know, I didn't want to make this like no hour-long thing. See what y'all are saying. What's up, Kendra? And then that's another thing you're going to have to understand too. You're going to have to understand that you either work for the Gynoceracy or you don't. You either work for it or you don't. Now you know how what you do actually contributes to keeping this shit running according to plan and running like a well-oiled machine. What's up, Jesse? They do. I mean, the Vegator, look, man, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the Vegator said that shit. I know a lot of y'all don't know what he is. Crystalline Carrison did a video one day where Crystalline Carrison did a video where she essentially tried to have a white man get on her platform to talk shit about black men, and he ended up flipping the script and basically talking about how black women love white men, and basically talking shit about black women. It was funny. And Sergeant Willie Pete covered it, and it was funny as fuck. Crystalline made another video and started crying, and you would think, this is God. Why is God forsaking me? She was like, why? And I'm like, oh, so this like, bullshit you got for black men, you ain't got that. But when it comes to the white man, you're on your knees. And Crystalline will delete these fucking videos. That's why somebody really should be on her shit all the time, downloading everything she puts up, because quite frankly, she's quick to delete fucking videos and try to act like the shit didn't exist. Because I'm telling you, it's some shit that would have been constantly, girl crying, that's the big picture. That's what it is. That's the video. And that's exactly what she was doing. And it was insane, man. And this is a weirdo ass white boy. This is a self-admittedly weirdo ass white boy. And he said, even I can fuck these bitches. And this was like 3-4 years ago. This was like in 2015 or 16. Like y'all, a lot of y'all don't go back to that stuff. Like when BGS says a lot of these motherfuckers have been dismissed, like he's not lying when he says that. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Black women can choose whatever they want for whatever reason. They have that right. My thing is, I have a right to not give a fuck about what happens after. Like this, and that's a part of it. See, remember, the same sister that will justify choosing, and look, a lot of this stuff is to varying degrees. That's what a lot of y'all don't understand. A lot of y'all are taking this as absolutes, where every woman has this bullshit to varying degrees. So every woman ain't on the fuck shit like 100%. So what happens is that they can choose swag, but at the same time they try to activate, even though nobody made these chicks go dealing with R. Kelly, surviving my life. Like, black men are supposed to feel guilty, but 80% of what black women do is self-inflicted. I would argue higher than that. Like, real fucking talk. And most black women understand that don't go through this shit because they understand that. So that's the thing that's the spell you have to break as a black man. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling like you need their permission to be great. That them fucking you means you somebody. Oh, well, you fuck a white bitch. Look, you fuck a white bitch because you can't handle a black woman, because you're too weak, because you're this, that. So it doesn't matter about you getting pussy. Even to the point where you hear some white men talk about, well, only grown men can handle black women. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? A lot of these motherfuckers that fuck black women can't even get their own women. That's why they so mad about the BBC. White men would not be black men to the point they want to kill us and keep us at the bottom if they were not sexually, because black men are the only group that sexually ain't trying to be them. Even when quote unquote act white, they not trying to be. What up, Jay? What up, Thinking a Man's Templar? Yeah, black women they may do the, and see, most of the only time you really see black women get on code is when it's time to talk shit about a man. And my mom wouldn't get on code on that shit. That individually, she not gonna get on code with a whole bunch of women. When in fact, That's not how it works. In fact, when I was in foster care, I was in foster care for like 1 year exactly. My birthday is coming up, and when I was 13 years old, I literally was in foster care. It started my after my the day after my birthday, because we were in an emergency situation because my parents thought it was a good idea for them both to go to the cops together and get arrested when we have no other family members in this state. Whatever. My point is, anybody that knows about that knows who a guardian ad litem is, especially if you're from Chicago. You know who those motherfuckers are, and we did not get back until we got a man. We got a black man, because my mom could not deal with any of these fucking black female guardian ad litems. She could not stand them, because she could not stand another, what she would say, black bitch telling her what to do. She much more was comfortable like listening to another dude. And I think that comes from, I know where that comes from, to be honest with you. And that's my personal business as far as my family. I actually know where that comes from, but we didn't get back until we got a dude. Because in the dude, it was literally the same shit BGS talks about when it comes to like white women and my mom is not a white woman, but white women talking about they can talk to fucking black men, but they just can't deal with black women because they are not told to really respect other women. They see other women as their equals, versus with a dude, they give them levity. And black women can't understand how a white woman can do that with a black man, because they don't respect them. So, yeah, man. So it doesn't mean you either all submit to men and you get, no, that's not how it is. Life is more complicated. And here we talk about the nuance. Yeah, get them likes up, y'all. Them likes do, I'm telling y'all, look at King Sigma and how his shit spread. Them likes do help. Them likes are social signals. I ain't asking you for money, but god damn it, y'all should check in with a like. The like is the handshake. Check in with the like is the fist bump. Check in with it. It ain't hard. Whether you got a phone or you got a damn computer. The shortage of men, when women say there's a shortage of men, what they're saying, there's a shortage of their access to men that make their pussy wet. They can't hop the fence and get quality men over the fence as much as they like to act like they can. Those dudes may fuck them if they do, which a lot of them won't, but then they're not validating them any other way, which, women need emotional validation, not just sexual validation. That's why the side piece situation doesn't work for women as much as it does for men. And then as far as black men, well, you got to be a superhero. And that's not true for every black woman, but a lot of black women start off with having a disrespect for black men, so you have to override that. And a lot of black men don't want to be honest about that. And I'm not saying that black men shouldn't improve, but what I'm saying is you need to go get the best deal. And now a lot of dudes are not open about saying that because they don't want to be seen as anti-black woman. I call it interracial and intercultural supplementation. We all know we can't get all of our nutrients from regular food because how this food is made now. So what? You supplement. But that don't mean you supplement. You ain't supposed to eat the food you're supposed to eat in general. Yeah, Charles, it is. And like black men never think. Black men never stop to think. Okay, your uncle is an electrical engineer, so shout out to him because he's degreed up and he's got a trade, so he's gonna be working. Automation ain't gonna get his ass, and he makes $100,000. I'm like, do you understand? I'm not saying your uncle should ever call a woman he's married to a bitch, but I'm just saying, kind of like Dave Chappelle says it. What if he just said in his mind, he played it in his own mind, he say, bit like on some Key and Peele, like Obama, that Obama and Luther thing. He say, bitch, do you realize I'm a 1% nigga? And if he's 6 foot, he be like, Nick, do you realize I'm a top 14% motherfucker and I'm on height and I'm a top 1% nigga? There's way more motherfuckers like you than there are like me if you don't shut all the way the fuck up. But they don't think that way because to her, she's a black man and it doesn't matter. And see, the older generation just dealt with it in a more like covert way. This is why you had terms called nice nasty. But they did the same shit. They were never as overt about it. So black men had a much easier time dealing with it. We're dealing with overt fuckery. But that's the key things, man, that need to be sexually validated, and that guilt. Those are the two chains. And that should be the key thing in SYSBM. The mindset is necessary. And I'm not saying fuck, don't ever deal with black women. That's not what I'm saying. It's how you deal with them that what you need to change. All right. Yeah, and shout out to Roastmaster. I definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. Well, I mean, a dude that's a side dude is getting the best of both worlds. He's getting non-obligated pussy. So women need actual emotional validation. So just fucking them and putting them in a corner. This is why technically you would think that today's modern independent woman, being a side dude is the best. Being a side woman is the best thing. They can maintain their independence and get sexual access. But K. Michelle is out here cursing God because Idris Elba wouldn't claim her. So we know that claim part matters. No, this has been live for about 47 minutes as of me answering that. So probably like 40 minutes when you did it. So yeah, man. I mean, that is what it is. Let me go through here. Go through the rich white folks. But anyway, that is what it is. And I'm very so yeah, so at the end of the day, man, zoning decision, well, I tell you, that construction never stops. So, and this is not about hating women. This is about really understand. Once you understand women, then you realize women are really not that complicated. So, and by the way, shout out to Donovan Sharp. I think a lot of y'all should listen to Donovan Sharp because he has very excellent breakdowns. And especially red pill dating. It's about, to understand women is to understand your environment. And this is from a black woman standpoint and an American woman standpoint. Shout out to Glenn and Cameron. That's going to be doing a sugar daddy product soon. That's what this is about. And the reason why we even bring up women in general is for other dudes to understand what's going on in the context of what's going on so they can see the patterns. Because once you can see the patterns, then you can move through the patterns and manipulate the patterns to create the outcomes. This is all about creating the outcomes that you want, regardless of what that is, and having the most information that you need so you can make an informed decision. Now, once you know, then it's up to you to make whatever decision you want, but you're going to have to own that decision. This is not about saying, oh, I can't get pussy, so therefore I'm talking about the gynocracy. That's not what this is for. That's not what this is for, and that's not what I care about. But at the same time, we will never, ever, ever, ever get anywhere in the black community if we're not going to really tell the truth about what's really going on. Because at that point, we're just spinning wheels and we're just intellectual masturbating. This is why a lot of people don't got respect for people that are quote unquote pro-black, because at the end of the day, they're not willing to actually really tell the truth about what's wrong. It's like having cancer and you know what it takes to cure it, but you want to just give people chemo. Because deep down, you want to charge people to give them chemo, and you don't really want to cure cancer because that's going to fuck up the game of how much money you make charging chemo. This is what a lot of these niggas are doing. And you're seeing a lot of black men are starting to rebel against that programming. And a big reason why dudes are rebelling is because women fucked up. Women got so obvious with their disrespect. See, that's the difference between the older generation of women and today's generation. Is the older generation kept dudes, they kept the brain activity low enough to where dudes were never saying, fuck this shit. This is why I understand why Gab's the way he is. Because Gab came up in a time where the women were not operating as overtly on the fuck shit as what we're dealing with. So I completely understand why he is the way he is. Of how it used to be. And the rules that it used to be, I completely understand what Gab's talking about. And Gab has been married, so he's been kind of locked into that situation. And kudos for him, because that means he's got a good marriage, which means he picked a good woman. And that's kudos. Just like when you got certain other people. I am happy for black men that got black women that are that have a respect to know that they got a good dude. And when I say good dude, I mean like they cashed out with some good chips. That because that's really all it really needs to be. But with that being said, that ain't everybody's situation. I don't want to say these dudes are lucky, but I'm not gonna say what they doing can be absolutely duplicated either, mathematically. Don't worry about it, Captain Cisco. What up, Marcus? Let me see how much energy I got. I always go through so much battery power. Yeah, brother, I do misspell words on purpose, troll grammar police. But I'm gonna stop doing that because I'm What up, LAR? What up, Blast Fry? What up, Albert? I do that on purpose. Partly because I'm doing it from my phone. Also because I don't give a fuck. Like a lot of y'all wonder why I type so fast. It's because I got this Bluetooth keyboard. You get that bitch from Best Buy for like $20. If you get it from Amazon, the shit's like $10 now. I'll put this on like one of my in fact, I'm about to go to Best Buy right now and get me another. I ain't got a thing that plugs into my phone that lets my phone connect like stick. So I'm about to get another one for $15. No, I know, Kendra. I don't got my charger with me. I know. But like the way shit. Yeah, oh yeah. It's super. It's like I'm gonna keep it. Look, if y'all got kids that are millennials, I don't give a fuck what age these motherfuckers are. I'm telling you. Get this shit from Amazon. If you got Amazon Prime, the shipping is free. And they're Logitech, so Logitech makes some good shit. They got the ones, because that actually connects to an iPad. You can actually use it to connect to a Bluetooth, to connect to a computer. It connects to a phone, any tablet. It's got that 3-dial thing right here. So it could connect to like 3 different devices if you just move it up or move it down. And then they got the smaller ones too. They got the ones that don't have this yellow bar. So it's a little bit smaller. And nowadays they got the stuff you can roll up now, but those are more expensive. So yeah, go to Best Buy and actually look it up, like see it, and then look it on Amazon. Because my Galaxy phone will actually scan, it'll scan like barcodes just with the camera, because the Samsung updated its OS to do that for the Galaxy shit. So yeah, man, I'm serious. That shit's like, if you want to get somebody something cheap but be effective, it's women, men. I like it because I'm not gonna be typing on these fucking phones like that. Like typing as fast as other motherfuckers are doing. That's not me. So yeah. But I've gotten a couple of them because I initially got it when I was an Uber driver. So it allowed me to really do emails and do a lot of shit, man. So you combine that shit with like Microsoft, because you have Microsoft Office 365. Well, if you have iCloud, you can do this because obviously you have an iPhone and you have the iCloud where you're sharing like numbers, pages, all that shit. If you got Microsoft Office, 365, where you're paying, $20-something, you logging in, you get access to the web apps. So you get access to the web apps, which is Outlook, Word. You can actually access it from any device, including your phone. A lot of people don't know that. So you can, and if you don't want to pay for that, because niggas are cheap, just use Google. Use Google Sheets, fucking Pages, Sheets, whatever the fuck it is. Sheets, Docs, PowerPoint, and you can actually do this shit from your phone. And what I usually, and Drive, and what I'll usually do is, in my other business, this is how I communicate with people. Like what I'll do is I'll create a link and create some stuff, and I'll either make it so you can either edit it, or you can either edit it, or you can You can edit it, or you like this is how you do this camaraderie shit and shit. I mean, you don't have to have shit expensive. Hold on one second. Shit doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, I gotta go in here and get that ice simple, so I'll show you. I'll show y'all right now. Yeah, man, I be running errands while I'm in this bitch. I don't care. We'll see if the strength still works. Yeah, what's up? What's up? That's another thing on the low, man. Y'all need to be good about getting this open box stuff. Like I get my younger brother always come in here. I got a plug in. You know, whenever something open box that I want, he'll hit me up because I'll give him like a couple of dollars to do that. And I actually do that with a couple of Best Buys. Because that open box stuff, you can get brand new stuff for really inexpensive and still get the warranty. So I'll either get that or I get the pawn shop. And actually today, if y'all want, type 1 if you want me to do this, I'll actually go to the outlet store in Best Buy because they got a Best Buy outlet store right up the street. Let's see where this shit is. Here. They still got it. Yeah, they got it $50 off. I'm still looking. Yeah, don't get me a monopod because I'll be walking around all this stuff. Y'all, doing the vlog stuff. Because it's only open like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and I got time today. So I might hit up there. Because this is just up in your area, and then a lot of y'all, if y'all willing to invest a little bit of money, y'all can flip stuff. That's the thing, folks, because it's never been easier to actually move information. So like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, don't take this the wrong way. This is like, so this is one, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's the Apple stuff. Oh, this is the open box stuff I'm talking about. See? So that's like the iMac stuff. Where is it? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So you see this? This is what I'm talking about. It's the same one, but it's the smaller version. And see, this one is for like TVs and stuff. So that's $59. Now they don't have the one I have. The one I have, I know this video has just gone left, right? The one I have. So I'm telling you, if you look that up, Logitech keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard, it'll come up on Amazon, and it's like $20 because you can get them used. It's like $20. Some of them are cheaper than that. I'm probably gonna get a thin one down the road, something I can put in my pocket. So forgot what I even came in here for. Where's the car shit? It's gaming. Oh, that's where it is. Any of y'all remember Circuit City? What's up? So a lot of times I'll come in here, use my phone, scan it, and then basically get the prices and then just buy it on Amazon. You got that Amazon Prime, you just get it in a day. Really, the only reason I'm getting this other thing here is because I just don't feel like waiting because I done waited already. Ooh, 16 gig, 32 gig. That's actually cheap. Car section. Why can I find? I can never find the car section. Where is the car section? Oh, there it is. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, open office is good too. I prefer, like, I usually deal with Google. I mean, and I'm gonna keep. I usually deal with Google because I can just integrate everything with Drive. But Google gets on my nerves sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing about it is, Google is cheap, and it's not so much for me. It's because the people see the way it works is when I do some of my home business stuff, I have to think about not just what I have to do, but what other people have to do. Yeah. So this is what I'm about to get right here. And I'm gonna plug that in my car. I usually get the other one because mine just lost its adhesive. I'm trying to think. Where's that Zeus stuff? Discover Google Assistant in your car. No, I ain't spend no money on that. It used to be a program thing called Zeus. If you look up Zeus for cars, it's like this upgrade, but I'm not doing that on this car. But anyway, I got what I wanted. Give me a second. But yeah, so you got Open Office, which you can get on Amazon. You've got so you got Open Office, you got Google, Microsoft, and look, Microsoft Office is $10. I mean, it's not a big deal, and it's actually cheaper if you're willing to do it with multiple people. So I usually get that because you get a terabyte of storage. I mean, I just go with that. The terabyte of storage alone is worth the cost. Now, if you got an iPhone, and you might as well not even do that. That comes with the iPhone. That's the thing. So, give me a second. All right. Yeah, so I mean, and like quite frankly, stuff like this is what I like. If you notice, I like talk about this shit too. I don't even be like, oh, all you need to talk is black women. No. But anyway, like you said, that shit's $29, and that's like the best $29 you spend. That's straight up out of there. Now, if you go to because I'm tired of holding this shit. Give me a second. But if you go but like I said before, I have to account for what other people can do, not just what I can do. Because I don't have a problem spending that money when it comes, because I look at it as investing, and I look at it as a cost of learning something. That's how I see it. But other people are not going to see it that way, so I have to be very conservative with other people's money. So being conservative with other people's money, I have to always think, okay, how can I do this in a way that's effective, but that's very, very inexpensive? Because that's how you can make it so it's duplicatable. And so that's why, I don't say, okay, and get everybody should just go and get Google, get Microsoft. I say, okay, let's do Google if you have Office, but really we say Google because Google is the most uniform. Everybody can do that. If you're on an iPhone, you can use Google Docs and Google Sheets. You can access the links and stuff if it's not for this particular thing. So that's how you have to think. And once you think that way, you make it so it's the most accessible for everybody. But other than that, I mean, personally, I like Microsoft Office, but especially when it comes to like you working on templates and stuff, because I like PowerPoint. I like PowerPoint the most. Sheets is okay, but I like PowerPoint the most in Excel. Really, when it comes to Word, I can do any of that shit. And I prefer actually the Apple Notepad, but I like Notes. But OneBook is good too. Let me see. Yeah, you're right, Blackheart. We don't do enough. Yeah, see, I'm cheap. I do it monthly. I'm gonna go to yearly. But you can do, because if you do it yearly, it's like $8 a month. It may be even less, but you can do it a month, and that's what a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't want to get Microsoft Office because they don't want to have to do it a year. But I do it, but they think they have to do it a year and pay $99. You can do it a month. People don't realize that. Oh, I mean, if I had a free 5K, I wouldn't just flip it on my own. You'll find out what I do with a free 5K soon enough, Roastmaster. Now you'll find that out soon enough. But really, I would flip it. But not only flip it with me, I would find a way to flip it with. In fact, that's what I'm working on right now. What I'm working on is, and I'm gonna end the video with this. What I'm working on is, I want a way to where I can honestly tell somebody, if you have if you have not even $100, if you have less, I'm talking about from start to actually get money, less than $100, and then about $50 a month, you can actually have a business where you have, and I make it very clear as to what you are doing. You have a business. This is the input. This is the output. Input, output, input, output, input, output. Not some, oh, well, I'm saying that, but you got to do this, you got to do all this stuff. No, if you do this, you will get this. It's kind of like, if you shoot enough threes, if you shoot enough 3-pointers, you'll make some. Same thing. Same thing. Input, output, input, output. It's very clear, it's very concise. That's what I want to do. And not because I want to make money off of people, because I want to create a micro economy within the manosphere. Because if I can do that, then we actually have some politics to politic over. And then some of the shit that we'll be able to do, we'll be able to take this shit to a very, very high level, because it's not just one person, and I'm not talking about O'Shea, I'm just talking about in general. It's not just a couple of people doing it. It's like you have like kind of like a corporation where you have maybe like a management content creator group, but you also have other people, because you see the same people donating, like Roastmaster, MOT, and shout out to y'all, but it needs to be other people. And I'm not talking about just donating me. I'm talking about other people put money in the pool so we can do bigger things. And that leadership has to be done with the content creators. I don't want to ask people for money. I want to make an offer, and then you agree to the offer, and then I'd be like, okay, this is something that we can build on. And I actually got quite a few things I could do that way. I just want to make sure the stuff is proven, not so much proven, but the concept is proven first, which it is, but you know, yeah. It is a men's channel. I mean, it's a men's channel, but I don't like say women can't be around. I mean, no, I like PowerPoint. PowerPoint is actually the main thing. If it wasn't for PowerPoint, I wouldn't even fuck with Office like that. Anyway, y'all, it's been great talking to y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging with me for this afternoon. I'll catch y'all on the other side. And like I said, look out for Black Rams video. I'll do a video maybe right before it starts to start, because it's going to be around probably like 5:36. And then Sigma, I think, might be a little earlier. So just keep in mind for that. So with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.